Back in 1991, the first ever website went live, and it didn't look like there was much going on. It was just a page with some text on it. Then, a couple of years later, a video went live on another website. I think you can guess what these first websites pioneered. Fast forward a couple of years, and you have YouTubers with a wider reach than entire news outlet giants. It's amazing to see that throughout history, technology made jumps that created entire new industries and brand new economies. And if you jump to the present time, we have the metaverse. In fact, as you watch this video, the metaverse is already in motion. There's no doubt in my mind that it'll change how everything works. Welcome to Modern Wealth, where today we'll be talking about a brand new piece of technology known as the metaverse. Before we get started, drop a like and subscribe. Also, make sure to watch till the end of the video for a few bonuses. Now, the first burning question is, will the meta make everything better? Ever since Mark Zuckerberg made the announcement, every news outlet started to paint this dystopian future where all of us are doomed to be mindless robots in a cog. It was a Ready Player One meets the Matrix situation where the Zuck controls everything. This is the easy narrative that everyone goes with, and the one that gets the most clicks. But this video isn't about big companies trying to build the Matrix. It's about you understanding what's happening and how you can profit from it. The best way to understand this is to look at something of a similar scale: the multiverse. Have you watched the new Ariana Grande concert? No, not that one. This one. They really did a full production concert inside the game. Now imagine telling someone a couple of years ago that something like that just happened. It would have blown their minds. It did manage to create a unique experience with a completely new level of interaction. Something similar happened with Travis Scott last year. What this type of experience does really well is connecting something from the real world with something from the virtual world. You'll probably be surprised to know that something very interesting is happening right now across all industries at the same time. BMW announced their new car in Rocket League. Streaming companies like Netflix are now making video games. And even video game companies like Riot are making Netflix shows. The result is a disruption of how we interact with both worlds and what's really possible. So what exactly is the metaverse saying? Well, what the metaverse is now is like saying what the internet was in the 90s. You can catch a glimpse of the future with nothing more than a modem, a phone line, and a few dollars a month. There was no concept of social media content creators sharing or trading platforms that make other platforms infinitely. So technically, the metaverse is whatever we build on it. It sits at the crossroads of a Web 3.0 blockchain and virtual reality. It's the combination of these three elements that make it possible. To understand it a bit better, we need to take a look at the three parts individually, starting with Web 3.0, which is the next version of the internet. Yes, there are more versions of the internet. Web 1.0 looked like a blank website with just a page, a bunch of text, some hyperlinks, to more pages. Oh, and don't forget the most important part, more text. There was no interaction, no user-generated content, and pretty much nothing but text on the screen. Web 2.0 is what we currently have now. It's largely community-based, with most of it comprised of user-generated content. It's highly interactive, and you can do a bunch of stuff on it. One really important thing to mention here is that there's only one thing you can buy and own on the internet. Just a single thing. A domain name. Just like Bill Gates owns Microsoft.com or Taylor Swift owns TaylorSwift.com, nobody in the world can make another website with the same domain name. Everything else is owned by corporations. Take this video for example. Sure, we made it, but if YouTube wants to, they could just poof, and it's gone. This leads us to Web 3.0. The most important thing you can do on Web 3.0 is own parts of the internet. Everything that you make, buy, or sell on the internet is yours, and you have the full rights to it. This happens because of blockchain, but more specifically, because of NFTs. These are the foundation blocks of value in the metaverse. You probably have an idea of what they are, but most disregard them as useless pixels on a screen for which some idiots are paying millions of dollars. I bet you're asking yourself, what's stopping me from doing a right-click save of an NFT to my desktop? Now that's a great question. For you to better understand how NFTs work, let's talk about money, or the story of money, or how money came to be. Before we get into a short money history lesson, I'd love to hear your thoughts so far. Do you think the metaverse is the future of the internet? Or is there something else that we missed? Make sure to comment down below. Now, let's get back to the video. What makes you think this piece of paper is worth 100? Who told you that? Why would someone trade goods for your piece of paper? Well, it's because over the years, we agreed that $1 is worth $1, and we trust that it always is. It's a social construct. It's not even real. But it makes it easy to exchange stuff, so we all agree to use it. So, the value of an NFT is how much those who embrace it decide what it's worth, and it provides ownership because it can be tracked in the blockchain and can't be copied. What you're failing to see is what NFTs can become in the future, the same way websites transform over time. Compare the first page with, let's say, Google Maps. They're both website pages accessed from a specific link, yet the difference between them is astronomical. There's this great tweet that says something like, "People say NFTs are a scam, but they post their original creations on Instagram in exchange for a digital heart." So, you have this way of truly owning something and using it. In the context of Web 3.0, people are now wondering about a new, great way to interact with this virtual reality. It's amazing even though it's just part of the metaverse. So, imagine in a few years from now where virtual reality won't be the only thing people will be talking about. I mean, at the rate virtual reality is going, holograms are probably the next best step. It's the natural technological progression. So, when someone says Facebook is building the metaverse, it's fundamentally wrong because they don't own the internet or the blockchain, or virtual reality. It's like saying Apple built telecommunications when they launched the iPhone. To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter what they, or Google, or any other company are doing. Once blockchain becomes mainstream, the internet is owned by individuals, and this is what most people can't wrap their heads around. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're an artist. You make one song and sell it for $1 as an NFT. In your smart contract, you add that every time your song gets sold, an extra 20% of the income goes to the seller. Let's say we buy your song for $1 and we sell it to someone else for $1. In this case, you, the artist, make $1 from the initial sale and 80 cents from the second sale, while we also make 20 cents. And this can go on and on. Every time your song is sold, you get 80% of it automatically in your digital wallet. No Spotify involved, no Apple Music involved, and no label involved. Not only do you make a whole lot more money, but your community also makes money from your work. And this is how individual ownership is happening. Everything in the metaverse works with this formula. That's what the metaverse really is: the rise of individual ownership. So how can you profit from it? First, you need to become a native to this new land in order for you to see new opportunities. You need to understand how they're created, and you can do that by getting educated. If you have no idea how this new thing works and you quickly dismiss it as a dystopian nightmare, you'll be left behind when reality, both natural and virtual, hits you. The good news is, we're in the super early days. People are just starting to get educated about this space. Don't worry if you're a little behind. There's a lot of room for growth and a whole new pizza to eat from. If you've watched until this part of the video, just like I promised, here are some pretty cool bonus things happening in this space right now. You can buy digital land in video games. For the uninitiated, this means wasting money on pixels. For the initiated, it's the first step to owning parts of video games. Imagine being a digital real estate investor in the next 10 years. As a matter of fact, Nike just patented digital goods, and they'll sell virtual Air Jordans at some point in the future. Now imagine being a digital reseller for that. Thanks for watching. And if you want to learn a few more tips and tricks to handling your money, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Cheers!